everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Virginia Jones, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the fabric choices that I made to make some outfits. So if you saw my previous video, in that I was going to do several outfits or several sewing projects for the month of May. So I want to see how many sewing projects I can actually get done in the month of May. So I believe it is May 6th today. So I'm a little behind the 8 ball, but I'm gonna catch up here. So in the previous video, I talked about how if you're a seamstress, you'll know what I mean. But I talked about how some fabrics or some fabric prints just kind of speak to you. And I have several fabric prints in my fabric stash that just say, yes, 1970s, or yes, 1800s, or whatever, 1912. I have a fabric that I really want to make a Titanic era dress out of. So what I chose for my fabric or for my sewing projects was the era of the 1940s. And I will go back through the patterns that I had originally picked out. Let's see. Okay, so if you haven't seen the previous video, I encourage you to go back and watch the video before this one. And I'm going to be doing a whole playlist on sewing videos so that way you can easily find those. So the dress that I want to do is from the 1940s. It's very slimlined. There's not a lot of gathering with it. It's very pretty, petite. And I don't know, I love the 1940s. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a sewing project from the 1940s. There is not a lot of complication in this pattern at all. So that's what I like. I have done some really complicated sewing patterns, but this time I wanted to just make it something I could just whip up and do pretty easy. So then I found an apron pattern from the 1940s. I thought that was super cute. I'm going to be making this one. Again, very simple sewing pattern. No gathering at all in this sewing pattern. And yeah, it's really, really cute. And then to go along with the dress, I got this pattern from my stepmother. This pattern is probably like, I don't even know how, it's probably close to 20 years old, but it's a 1940s shoulder bag. So you can either do a shoulder bag, I think, or it could be a handbag, I guess. But it is, let's see, it's inspired by the style of the 1940s. These practical day bags combine a useful size with a functional utilitarian shape and military detailing popular during the war years. View 1 has a pointed flap. So view 1 is this one right here. Has a pointed flap and tab closure, while view 2 has a pieced flap and is trimmed with vintage buttons on the flap and handle, adding to the retro appeal. So view 2, excuse me, is this one right here, and that's the one I'm going to be doing. So then I went into my fabric stash and I found some fabrics that were like, yes, this is the one you need to use to go with this pattern. So we'll start with a handbag. So, and I know one of these fabric prints doesn't scream like wartime, but I thought it was so super cute and I really want to add it into my thing. So again, I'm going to be doing this one right here. So there are 3 different, you have this color and then you have a darker green and then you have the tan. So so it is going to be 3 different color things. So even though this does not scream wartime, I still think it's really cute. But I thought that was a really cute fabric. And it's like a duck cloth canvas. So it will be perfect for this bag. Now this bag, which I didn't realize, it does need a plastic canvas for the base of the bag to make it sit correctly, which isn't a problem. That's not really a hard thing to do. So okay, so that is going to be, and I think what I'm going to do is where the tan is on this. If I have enough, I'm going to use this. I think it'll be really cute because this, I want this to kind of be the focal point of my bag. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we have that section or that piece there. And then we have this green. So hopefully the lighting is, but again, it's a canvasy kind of material. So I thought that would be really pretty. And I don't have another shade of green, but I do have this, which I thought was kind of cute. Now, again, I don't know if it really speaks like wartime, anything like that. But again, I thought it was kind of cute, swirly lines on it and stuff like that. So I'll use that as well in the bag pattern. So that's the bag one. So with the dress, and there are a few things. Now, in the previous video, I said that I really want to try to do these projects very frugally. So I have my fabric. All I will need to get is the plastic canvas, the thread, probably a zipper, and probably a belt buckle. I'm not sure. I may do the belt. I may choose not to do the belt. So I don't know. This one does have the belt, and this one here also has a belt, but this one doesn't come with the belt. So I might choose not to do the belt. But I had this in my stash and I'm like, oh, this is the perfect material. So it is, I don't even know what it is, like what kind of material it is. Maybe like a crepe. I don't know if you can see the detail on the fabric. I don't know if the camera even does it justice, but it's kind of like that crepey material. I don't know. And if you're a seamstress, you'll know what that is anyway. But I just thought it was so 1940s. It's just so pretty. Anyway, so yeah. Okay, so my next choice of fabrics, I would like your opinion on which one you think I should use. So we'll get the dress pattern out of the way here. Now, the last one is for my apron. So again, I'm going to be doing this one. These two are really cute. They don't have too much variation, I don't think. I don't even know really what the difference between there is only two. There's only two different things. So this one has more of a scalloped edge to it, and this one is actually this one right here. So this is the one I'm going to be doing. But I really didn't have any fabrics in there that yelled, yes, use this as the 1940s. However, I thought these two were cute, but I'd like to have your opinion. So the first fabric is this right here. It's like a floral, and it has yellows and it has green. It has a rose color in it. I'm hoping the camera is going to capture that. And I think it's really pretty. It's really springtime. So we're obviously in the spring here. And I think it's really cute. But then I found this one too, which is more fall kind of, but I think it's really pretty too. So this one is a striped fabric. Now, with the stripes, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to use the rickrack, which is what I want to put on it. But I thought it was pretty. And I may not put rickrack. I may choose to put something else. I don't know. Or I may put the rickrack just around the edges. But I think it's really pretty. So I'd like to have your opinion on which one you think I should use for the apron pattern. Now, the good thing about all these patterns is when you are sewing patterns, and I'm going to actually be starting a sewing class in 2 weeks. I'm going to be teaching a bunch of ladies how to use their machines. By the end of the class, they will be able to sew their own clothes. That is my goal for the sewing class. And the good thing about sewing is you can use whatever fabrics you want. I mean, you want to stay, if it's a certain dress pattern, like this pattern here with the dress pattern, they call for crepes, they call for silky kind of stuff. You probably wouldn't want to use a cotton on this because you want it to flow nicely. Cotton is going to be a little bit too stiff, I think, in my opinion, for that. But this would be really pretty in a silk. I have worked with silk though, and believe you me, I hate silk. Okay, it depends upon the pattern, I guess, but I was making bridesmaids dresses for my oldest daughter. Oh my word, it was terrible. It was so awful. I don't like silk. However, I don't mind a crepe, but in a cotton, this is not going to flow. It's not going to just be hanging the way it should if you were to use a cotton. You wouldn't want to use any kind of heavy material with this dress pattern. But you can decide not to wear a belt. You could do a ribbon kind of tie around this instead of a belt. You can do longer sleeves. You can lengthen the skirt. You can shorten the skirt. So that's the thing I love about sewing is it's an openness to be able to do whatever you really like. So with the apron pattern, she has the rickrack going down here. I may choose not to do that and just put it along the edges. You can do it with or without pockets. You could do a pocket up here. I mean, there's so many things that you can do in sewing. And I've been sewing long enough that I have that freedom and that liberty to be able to just do however I want with a sewing pattern. I can cut corners, I can do certain things that if you're beginning to sew, you might not want to do. But it's with experience that you realize, oh yeah, I can do that and I don't have to do that. I can put this here or that there. And I have actually taken patterns where I take 2 or 3 different patterns and I combine them to make one dress or one outfit using certain pieces from different patterns. And that is the joy and the loveliness of sewing. So anyway, I would love to read your comments about which fabric you think I should use for the apron. And stay tuned as I do more videos on this sewing project for May Madness. Thank you so much for watching my videos. And if you're new, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you if you've been long-term with me for sticking around and enjoying these videos. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.